Yo, Shadows of Tomorrow continues with Cable. Old school Cable. Time traveling, gun toting, explosions everywhere. Cable getting that old team back together with some twists and turns. I'm talking about Inglorious X-Force issue number 1. Yo, what are we waiting on? Roll that intro, cuz. Yeah. What's going on, Geek Corner? This is your boy, Earthsmack, the Mad Scientist, and welcome back to the Orange Phoenix Media channel. We are covering Inglorious X-Force issue number 1, and you want to stick around to the end of this video because you want to know if you want to pick up this title and pick up this run of X-Force. So let's go. So X-Force opens up with Cable. Per usual, Cable, he's in a certain timeline, and you see mutants, one president for humans and mutants, and someone that is uniting human beings and mutants. But something has gone wrong. The person in question got assassinated, and also he was dealing with glitches in his AI Bell. He having a temporal glitch, and from that standpoint, he failed his mission because the president is dead. And he wakes up in this dark area where he sees an old picture of, that old school 90s X-Force, man. Back in the day with Jim Lee, Fabian Nicieza, that X-Force, yeah, that is what I'm talking about. So he wakes up in a particular timeline where it takes place before the president that supposed to unite humans and mutants got assassinated. Now, on his arm, the names on his arm says Archangel, Helverine, and Boom Boom. Now, from that standpoint, he gets his old gear, and he doesn't necessarily have his AI because his AI is pretty much on the fritz. So he's recording himself, recording his mission and what he has to do going forward. Now, this goes to like this old school movie deal. Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, more specifically Ocean's 11, where you got one particular character, George Clooney, and he's going to each person, popping up on them and saying, hey, I need you to be a part of this team. That exactly is what Cable is doing, because the first person he went to go see is Angel or Archangel, depends on how you look at it, because Warren Worthington is in his regular Angel, guys. But at will, he can turn himself blue, and he can make his wings turn metal, and he can become a very dangerous person, because that is exactly what he did when he first met Cable. Didn't necessarily hit Cable. He's like, nice shot, Angel. Shame about the couch. But Warren Worthington, X-Force needs you again. He's like, I asked how'd you got in, but your rep precedes you, Cable. And he's like, I hope mine would too. I'm done with the X-Force business, espionage and black ops and assassinations. I'm done with Archangel. Sure, I played the part when Wolverine or Cyclops asked, but only because I have history with them. I don't know you, Nathan. Not sure anyone really does. Now, I'm staying all above board now. And he's like, we don't have much history, but I think I know you. And I think as Warren Worthington, you're a slave. You put on that suit and you perform for your masters. You flap your wings and play like your dance. But that shift into metal wings and blue skin into a weapon, that came easy. It came fast. And I think, Warren, you're only free when you're Archangel. And that's really all it took. Like, first member of the team, already rock solid. The next person he comes across is Helverine. Now, he goes sees Helverine, and obviously he's doing what he does best. He's taking out people in the street gangs. He handling his business like he's supposed to. But it really don't take much for Akihiro either. It doesn't take much for Helverine as well. He's like, if anyone understands wanting to change the inevitable at all costs, it is you. Now, you got member number 2. Now, from this standpoint, now remember, there is a polar opposite here, because the first team member that he sees is Archangel. Archangel didn't necessarily give him a welcome. You know what I'm saying? He pretty much tried to take this man out. Obviously he wasn't going to do it, but Boom Boom has a different reaction to Cable, because she's just doing regular demolition work and getting paid for it. and like get paid nice sums of money, can get anything that she wants, to a point where human beings is actually asking her out on a date. And he's like, nah, don't do any of that. And the minute she sees Nathan responds, Tabitha, I know if I put you through hell more than once, and I know if you got your own life now, a good one, but I need you. And before he even finished his speech, because I know he prepped for that, Boom Boom was like, no. Yes, God. 1,000 times yes. I swear I was going insane with all this normie crap. I've got it all. How lame is that? Whatever you want, Cable. I'm so bored with this. I'll be honest, boss man. You're the only person who ever knew what to do with my energy, You're the parental figure, motivational speaker / adult babysitter I've always needed. So point me at whatever you want me to freaking obliterate, man. And I got you. He's like, did you want to grab some things at your apartment on the way? Or he's like, no. The hell with all that. My expensive horticulture like junk. I'm sure you've got a uniform for me. Something with shoulder pads. And it's kind of like a hark back to like the 90s X-Force. Like what I'm doing currently, I'm going back to reread X-Force for Fabian Nicieza and going through with that and the Mutant Liberation Front, because it's funny that I read that a couple days before covering the Glorious X-Force, that the Mutant Liberation Front is part of this story and they are younger. And Cable briefed him on exactly what's going on. He's like, look, the Mutant Liberation Front, I've been picking up a lot of recent chatter on multiple channels. They're reformed and now centered around an influencer called themselves Kali. The movement is younger now, more radicalized, believing they have to strike first and strike last in the coming final conflict between humanity and mutant kind, targeting dislocation. And Akihiro like Kali, Debalt, Speedburn, Zoomer, keyboard jockeys acting out message board fantasies and MMORPGs in the real world. This is child's play, Cable. And Boom Boom was like, listen, typically I wouldn't agree with Akihiro, but absolutely right. Like, they got any other Crime Stoppers out there to do, because we could do some Black Ops type shit and we be good with that. But the thing is, the person that they're after is Kamala Khan. Like, Kamala is working alone at this point. That she's going up against Unveil, Speedburn, Debop, and this is the Mutant Liberation Front, but younger, to the point of her in a losing battle, because all she's trying to do is take this bomb and get it away from the people, like save the building until X-Force shows up. And they put in some work. He's like, look, X-Force, show them that we're back and that we mean it. And X-Force really makes quick work of this Mutant Liberation Front, and to a point where Cable was able to let the bomb explode without hurting anyone else in the midst. So the Mutant Liberation Front, this young crowd that don't really know how to handle this Inglorious X-Force team, they escape because somebody is actually giving them instructions. There's someone at a keyboard telling them what to do and how to do things, and pretty much getting in their head. Now, from that point, Cable was like, listen, I need you to come with us. If you want to keep drawing air, we got to go now. And Kamala's like, listen, I know who you are. I read the files. You're the son of Cyclops. You get young teenagers to be a part of your soldier team, and they do some real gritty shit. And I ain't with that. I'm cool with the X. Yes, I'm a mutant, but not how you do things. I'd rather do something over here. But the one thing, though, that he said made her turn around, and it shocked me, that what really got me stuck with this book, is he called her President Kamala Khan. Huh? And she was like, what did you say? What are you talking about? And Boom was like, yo, what? He like, listen, in the future, you will be the first mutant president of the United States. You'll be the one thing holding back a war between our people and humanity. And in the here and now, you need training, but more importantly, you need protection. I'm offering, as politely as I know how, you have access to this squad of enforcers and Counter-Strike experts, as well as a fully secure and defended location, as long as is necessary. And she's like, President? And she's like, look, I've been doing this for long enough that this doesn't even sound fully insane. And I'm going to admit, if it's true, it'll be nice to have a little leg up before I got to save the world for 4 to 8 years. So I'll give you a brief trial period with the right to bounce the moment things get too gritty. But I'm not going off to some safe house to be sealed in a bunch of goth sociopaths. I'm a local superhero. I have a community. I got friends. I have a family. So basically, she's like, listen, don't put me on no Black Ops type deal. Don't stick me on no house until you handle the old situation to kill somebody else. Listen, I'm gonna still do what I do. You could be my protection. I'm cool with my destiny, but I'm going to keep on living now. Now you can text me and then pick me up at this address when you need me. Now, what's funny about this, early in the comics, she's like, listen, you just want to burn the building down. And pretty much when Kamala left, that's what it did. They burned the building down. Wolverine, like sent that place up in smoke. That's basically what happened. Now, you go down to the end of this, and Cable's like, recording log. The techno-organic infections at bay, physical injuries are what they are, and I'm used to everything hurting anyway. Real question I find myself asking is what to do about these scars. Now, at the beginning of this book, there was the bottom part of his arm that was marked black. But once he wiped that off, it says one of us. He says, one of us. I've gathered a crack unit with incredible power and potentially flexible morals to guard a teenage girl who's supposed to save the world and all of mutant kind. But I'm also throwing Kamala Khan right into the wolves den, forcing her to fight side by side with her own assassin. So basically, someone within the team that he recruited is the would-be assassin for Kamala Khan. He's like, stage 1 is implemented. Stage 2, I use missions to let the suspects clear themselves of a crime that hasn't happened yet. But unbeknownst to Cable, he's caught in the crosshairs. And the person that catches him in the crosshairs is no other than my homie, the ace, the lucky one herself, Domino. And she's like, look, like, that's my superpower. And over there, that guy dead in my crosshairs, that's my old boyfriend, Nathan. But unlike you and me, he somehow managed to be wrong on both accounts, and it's going to get him killed. What exactly is she talking about? Is Cable wrong is thinking someone from his team is the would-be assassin, because she's got her crosshairs right on this man, and I don't know how this thing gonna pop off. But that is exactly how this book's gonna end. So to give y'all a little bit of a deal with this book, I really do like this book. And at first I was kind of like, I don't know, but the whole going from team member to team member and assembling the crew and getting the crew together and trying to find out what's going on. The President Kamala Khan, that really got me stuck in there. Because now I'm very much interested. And I remember what I said in like the past few weeks when it comes to Saturday morning comics. I'm like, yo, let's put a pin in time travel. This right here to me is an isolated thing. You know, there is Cable Stick. Like, Cable Stick is time travel. But if it's like an isolated thing and it's centered around X-Force, I'm cool with that. Like, I'm actually cool with that. And I do like the vibes that Cable is leader of the X-Force once again. And I know with the previous titles, like before From the Ashes, like when X-Men was fresh out of Krakoa, X-Force did have a run, but it got canceled. So, and maybe this run here needed Cable as the leader, because I feel like some of the best stories in X-Force was when Cable was the leader, you know? So it got that 90s type of feel to it, and I do love the artwork of this. And if you want me to say, do I recommend this book? Yes, I do recommend this book. I do recommend this run. Inglorious X-Force does have a certain charm to it. It does have a little bit of espionage to it. It feels grounded in ways. It's not completely over the top. And always was interested, excuse me, I always was interested in X-Force outside of X-Men, because X-Men has their own set of morals, but X-Force have their own set of dealings on how to deal with things. So yes, very much recommend this book. I'll highly encourage you guys to go out there and check Inglorious X-Force out, because yes, I did skip some key parts in this comic, because I want you guys to go to your LCS and support this comic, whether physically or digitally. Yo, you already know what to do. Hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell, because when you hit that notification bell in the drop down box, you make sure you select all. That way you get notified on all of our content, whether it's live or recorded. So until next time, y'all, peace.